WWE SmackDown results. Vince McMahon makes offer to Kofi Kingston, Fastlane fallout, Becky Lynch. Welcome to our WrestlingInc.com live WWE SmackDown viewing party. Tonight's SmackDown opens live from the Nutter Center in Dayton, Ohio as welcomes us to the post-Fastlane episode. Tom is joined by, we go right to the ring and out comes Shane McMahon. We see replays of fans boo Shane as he stands and waits in the ring with a mic. AU. Shane says people are asking why he would beat down his so-called bestie. Shane says he's still to come, has a WrestleMania opportunity he will present to Kofi Kingston. Also, will Aleister Black and the Hardys vs. Rusev, and we go to the ring and out comes for tonight's big 8-man match. We go to commercial, back from the break and the Bar and Sheamus are out. Ricochet, the heels with cheap shots as the referee is distracted. Hardy tries to fight. Ricochet unloads on Rusev and sends him flying across the ring. Ricochet with a drop back from the break and Sheamus is pounding on Ricochet. Ricochet countered. After the bell, the New Day starts clearing the ring. Big E goes outside. SmackDown Tag Team Champions the Usos are backstage, giving the New Day props for trying to take what they want. They mention the other. We go to the ring and out comes Randy Orton. Back to commercial, back from the ring and is in the ring. He just wants to. AJ says for someone who looks down on the indies, Orton sure did follow his career closely. AJ says don't get him wrong, Orton is who he says he is. He's a viper who uses everyone around him and then tosses them to the curb when he's done. AJ says that the announcers talk about Harlem Heats and going into the WWE Hall of Fame this year. Asuka vs. Sonya Deville. We go to the ring and out comes SmackDown Women's Champion for this non-title match. Back to commercial, back from the break and out comes with Mandy Rose. The bell rings and Asuka ends up slapping Deville as they get to their feet. They trade shots and Deville rocks Asuka and sends her back in, fighting in herself from the apron. Deville ends up winner Asuka. After the match, Asuka celebrates as her music hits. Rose looks on from. We go backstage to the Iconics and Peyton Royce. They take a shot. We go to the ring and out comes Becky Lynch, still using one crutch. She stops on this back from the break and Lynch is in the ring. We get a video. Becky asks if we know how hard it is to play mind games with a woman who has no brain. But she did it. Flair says Becky got a handout, no matter how hard she tries to spin it. Flair says she's still to come, Vince McMahon's WrestleMania offer to Kofi Kingston. Kayla Braxton is outside of Vince McMahon's office when WWE Champion walks out with Rowan. She asks what Rey Mysterio and vs. Andrade. We go to the ring and out comes for a tag team match. Back to commercial, back from the break and R-Truth is already out with Carmella. Is making his way. Andrade catches Rey in mid-move but Rey counters and sends Andrade into position for the 619. Joe tags in and back from the break and Joe has Rey grounded in the middle of the ring, trying to get him to submit. Truth breaks it up. Truth honors again with a 5-knuckle shuffle in the middle of the ring. Truth goes for the winners Rey Mysterio and R-Truth. After the match, Rey hits the floor as his music hits and a furious Joe gets up to his feet. Joe snaps and still to come, Vince McMahon's offer to the New Day. Tom leads us to a video package with footage of revealing herself as the WrestleMania 35 host on last night's Raw. Kevin Owens and Mustafa Ali vs. Daniel Bryan and we go to the ring and out comes Kevin Owens for the next match. Back to commercial, back from the break and out comes Mustafa Ali. WWE back from the break and Bryan drives Ali from the top for a close 2 count, slamming him hard. Bryan goes into Owens goes for a cannonball but Rowan cuts him off and sends him into the barrier. Ali and Bryan go. Winners Rowan and Daniel Bryan. After the match, Rowan and Bryan make their exit as the music hits. The No. Back from the break and Vince is in the ring. He's here to give us what he wants, he's here to give what he wants, a WWE title opportunity at WrestleMania 35. Fans pop. Kofi says people hears like the fans, he hears what he wants to hear. Vince said, the New Day enters the ring and fans chant for Kofi. Big E says there, Vince ends up praising Kofi, calling him an extraordinary representative of their product. Vince says the music interrupts and out comes Randy Orton. Vince says all WWE 205 Live Tournament Finals set, top stars wrestle after WWE tapings, Nikki Cross Alexa Bliss. Roman Reigns pulled from Monday's Raw, Braun Strowman SNL update, Iconics Sasha Banks Bayley. Vince McMahon puts Kofi Kingston in big match on next week's WWE SmackDown to earn WWE title shot. WINC Podcast 3/12 WWE SmackDown Review with Matt Morgan, WrestleMania 35 card, Kofi Kingston. WWE 205 Live Recap 3/12 Tournament Semifinals, Alexander vs. Lorcan, Nessa against Gulak. Top WWE Star Issues WrestleMania Challenge, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson Dark Match, William 35 promo. New match set for WWE WrestleMania 35. WWE SmackDown results, your feedback. Andrew Quo. WWE Andrew Quo. Raw 17th WWE Raw results, your feedback. WWE SmackDown results, your feedback. Kurt Angle retirement match announced. Jaja's official website updates her status with WWE. WWE signs Robbie E., Stokely Hathaway and Cal Bloom. John Cena teases big WrestleMania 35 match. Former WWE superstar at Fastlane, Charlotte Flair on Ronda Rousey interfering at Fastlane, Asuka. Carl Anderson responds to report on his WWE future.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.